I love October because that's when all the fun horror movies come out.
It is. It's nonstop, and then you get to see streaming services put on all the old classics, so you can watch kind of almost anything in the horror genre.
That's right.
And what we're talking about today is a new film that's coming out October 25th, so right before Halloween, from Vertigo Entertainment. We got a screener for this film called Your Monster, and it's directed and written by Caroline Lindy, who did a movie called Aspirational Slut, which I never saw.
I love the name, though. That's amazing.
Yeah. And the film stars Melissa Barrera, who was in the last couple of Scream films, and also Abigail. So she's in the horror genre. Tommy Dewey and Meghann Fahy, and a really good cast. And before we talk about it, do you want to take a look at the trailer, the teaser for this?
All right.
There we go.
Package for Laura Franco?
Do you mind if I really need a hug right now.
I don't know if I'm...
Oh, I really needed this.
He broke up with me.
And now my life is over.
I know it sucks. Eat some pie.
I'm disgusting.
Sleep. And don't cry. Don't cry.
Hello?
What's up? You got 2 weeks. After that, you're out of here. You pack your bags and get out.
What'd you do last night?
I read. I went over lines.
Play a different song.
But something really weird is happening at home.
Someone's annoying right now.
Can we talk about it?
I can't. I gotta go to karate. I love you so much.
You two know each other?
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
We're together for 5 years and I just messed it all up.
The prick broke up with you when you were in the hospital.
I can't do it. I need time for me.
I could threaten to eat him if that would help. I mean, I could eat him. It would literally take me like 2 seconds.
There's this Halloween party, and maybe you'd like to come with me.
Are you asking me out on a date?
No.
Well, I'm not gonna leave the house.
Fine.
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 I saw you with her, but for some reason, I still love you, and I don't want you anymore.
He doesn't love you the way you deserve to be loved.
What do you know about how I deserve to be loved? Look at me!
I'm looking at you.
Look!
From this angle, I can see your back and your face simultaneously. That's how much I'm looking at you.
I'm a mess! No, you're not! I'm a disaster!
Oh.
Okay, that's really funny and very cute. And you probably have an idea about this movie that you think this is a funny little rom-com.
Yeah, it's like, well, it mentions it. It's a kind of an updated version of Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast taking place in modern day New York with this struggling actress who just got out of a relationship. That's what you get, and then all of a sudden, this monster is in the closet.
Yes.
And they start having their type of friendship. And it's the show's a lot. I haven't seen the trailer. I saw the movie. Now watching the film, we can talk about the movie now. What is your thoughts as how the trailer relates to the actual film?
The trailer, I feel like, didn't depict how really intuitive and introspective it is. It's got a lot going on and a lot to say. This makes it look very simple, and I get why they did it this way because it looks a lot more entertaining. They made it very funny and very simple. It's like, oh, there's this monster in a closet, and they're gonna have a romance no matter what he looks like, and she has the terrible boyfriend who broke up with her, and it was terrible. But it's so much more than that. It's more like betrayal and female rage and always being pushed down and pushed back and told you're not good enough, and this constant part of her. And I know it's like the female experience when you talk about that, but when a woman sees a movie like this, you feel it really deep. Like you feel like, it really grabs you, because while they're showing kind of a surface depiction and making it entertaining, it starts seeping in deeper and deeper in a much smarter way than I think the trailer lets you think it's going to be. So I thought it was way better than I thought the trailer makes it look. Like so good.
Well, I think there's a lot going on in this movie, like you said. A genre bending is hard. So you take a romantic comedy, you throw in this fantasy element, or in this case, kind of a horror element.
Yeah.
There's some horror in this. You know, it's not heavy duty, but it's definitely there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So a lot of times when you try to mix those, it just doesn't work. But here, you really care about the character, Laura Franco. She's sad, she's depressed, she's bummed out. She's also a little bit of a wallflower, kind of a shy person who's an actress, and that's kind of tough. You know, acting is tough. It's a tough business. Her boyfriend wrote this musical, this play, and he's got an attitude, and he starts fooling around and breaks up with her because in the early scene in this movie, she's fighting cancer. So he breaks up with her while
we see that.
we see that while she's still in a hospital bed. So he's a total jackass. And then so she has every reason to be down and out and bummed out and eating ice cream and just not leaving the house and ordering Amazon. And then all of a sudden this crazy thing happens. There's a monster in her closet, and he turns out to be this sort of like kind of scary, certainly scary and freaky, and can eat people and do whatever, but also funny and sweet. And you see that in the trailer, and how their relationship grows and how she changes. And I think really good movies where a character changes throughout and it totally works, it makes sense. And that's why this movie is much more just than a rom-com or even a genre thing. It has a lot to say. Really great characterizations. I thought all the characters were strong and well thought out. I thought the acting was great. Melissa Barrera is fantastic, and Tommy Dewey plays the monster. He's great. He's really
so good. What you got was a unique actress, and she's playing an actress, and she's really insecure. And so part of what she was trying to do to realize her dreams of Broadway was to work on this musical with her boyfriend, which they did for like 5 years or something.
Right.
So they worked on it together, and that was going to be her big break. And so when he broke up with her, he also shattered her dreams. So I think she had a reason. The first half of the movie, there's a lot. And then you start really seeing little hints of things like she's staying in the house where she grew up as a kid. There was a monster under her bed, this monster who terrified her when she was a little kid. The mother is kind of checked out. She's like, I'm going off on vacation. You can stay at the house, and keep sending her pies. So she keeps eating pies. Like she's eating all these. Her mother, here, just have some pie. Keep sending her all these pies.
Right.
She doesn't have a lot of people to lean on. She has one friend who's sort of barely there, who's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, she's
the closest thing she's got.
It's the closest thing. And then it's her life was that musical. It has a beautiful voice, and I think she totally sells the third act where you're in the theater and you're seeing part of the show and what's going on there. Totally great. Like there wasn't a false note in this at all, and I think mostly it's getting very positive reviews.
Yeah, it is. It is getting good. It should.
It should. I think it's really hard to pull this kind of stuff off, and people who don't like it, maybe they just don't like the fact that a rom-com has certain elements that are a little more serious, a little deeper, and also bringing this fantasy / horror element into it. I bought it 100%, and I had a big smile on my face saying, this is really good. And Caroline Lindy, I'll mention her name again, really, really well directed and well written. She did a great job. I mean,
well, I like that they took also our expectations of the rom-com, and this is one thing the trailer does. It sets you up for put this in a box, and this is what you're going to see. But then it turns everything inside out, which I love. Like it was all these preconceived notions you have on how this is going to work, how horror works, how women work, how everything works. I like that she was a unique character to have as an actress who was very insecure. To me, she rang true because she didn't have a lot of confidence. And I think that might be why people think, how could anyone so beautiful not have confidence? Well, because they don't a lot of times. Like they're told they're not good enough all the time. It doesn't matter what you look like or how you are or how talented you are. That's just how you feel. And then we have that deep simmering rage that you will have by living like this, being neglected by your parents, everyone's saying you're overreacting or whatever's happening. So you build up this rage and then you manifest. So we can talk about spoilers a little bit here because I think it's necessary. We don't have to give away the total ending, but I think a few things I loved were the actors who kind of black swans into the thing.
It's Meghann Fahy, and I can't remember the character in the
So Meghann Fahy comes in. She's this beautiful blonde, what you would expect an actress to look like in a play like this. So she swoops in, and she's going to take over the role. She gets convinced to go audition. And so the boyfriend kind of acquiesces like, well, you can be the understudy, I guess. Just didn't know how to say no. So she's seeing them interacting all the time. She sees the little flirty. She sees the, stuff happening. So she's just ramping up. Gets invited to a party, the Halloween party. So that's the only time her monster can leave the house.
Right.
Now, I'm skipping over a lot of great stuff, but basically what it comes down to is I love that you take the female mean girl villain, you bring her in as their adversary, even worse than the boyfriend, you think, the only person who should be blamed for any of this is the boyfriend. Laura should never have been moping at all about this guy because he was like good riddance by. I think he was attached to her dream.
The dream was like she
Yeah.
worked on this musical for 5 years, and this was her, being an actor is so hard to make
And
it.
she just had cancer on top of everything else, right?
I
So-
know. Right.
But I love how they kind of twist it around, and she's not the villain. And she's like,
No.
oh God, oh, he's been flirting with me. I don't know what to do about it. I don't want anything to do with him. And she's like, what? Like, it kind of surprises her that she isn't the villain. But
Yeah.
what I love too about the the monster in the house is he's the quick to anger, but also very charming. Like, he seems like a sociopath, but he's also a monster. So it tracks. Right?
Right.
But I love that they argue about the temperature in the house. They argue about what to eat, and what they're watching. And, he thinks, Night of the Living Dead is a documentary, which I thought was hilarious. You're intrigued by him. Like, he's not repellent.
He's
So you
not.
kinda
And he-
see the attraction. Oddly.
No, I mean, and also the makeup on him, he's not so grotesque. I mean, he's not so grotesque that you see sort of the he could be attractive in some ways, and that's what happens. She falls for him because he's there, and he's.
I mean, we have
sticking
been
up for him.
preconditioned already by Beauty and the Beast to like this type. We
Right,
like
right.
the monsters. We love the glamorous hair and the
Right.
when she goes to the Halloween party, he ultimately leaves and comes to the party. They show it in the trailer, which I also did not like they showed that because that was a big
Yeah.
surprise.
That was a big surprise. Yeah.
I like that he shows up and it was almost breathtaking. Like, oh,
Right.
he came. Like, I just
came.
melted. I was
I
so,
know.
oh my God, this is so good. I love it. So
Yeah.
I loved that. He is rage.
Right.
He is her rage. Like,
Right.
as a child, she probably did the same thing. Like, she didn't know how to handle her emotions. So she created this thing.
Right.
I love that. So you kind of
Yeah.
start seeing clues to some of that, like what's
Right.
happening. And,
Well-
but deep down, I was wishing it was real. And I like how he was very cute, but when he would kind of get mad, he'd do that roar and you'd see those little pointy teeth all of a sudden that you wouldn't normally see. It was really, really well done. The manifestation of that rage felt very real and very personal, how they're always managing this rage.
Yeah.
And so she's always trying to manage it, always trying to hold back, always until you can't control it anymore, which I thought was unbelievably great.
Yeah, and we won't give away the ending, but it does turn into this sort of surprising but really gratifying and interesting ending to the film. And I think I've read some reviews saying the ending goes off the handle, but they're missing the point of the film. They're thinking again, this is about her character and how she progresses from being this sad, mopey, depressed woman to being who's letting out all her anger and frustration in a very sort of cathartic and good way.
Oh no!
I
thought it was exhilarating.
Right.
That
Yeah,
ending where
and-
she's singing and the camera's swirling and it's so euphoric and amazing. Like, I thought that was really fun and I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Even though the songs
I
were
did
pretty
too.
good. Yeah, I was
I
like,
thought it was hilarious too. He's like, this is my play about women for women, and it's so condescending and terrible. It's all
they're all the women are dressed like in I don't know,
Catholic schoolgirl.
It's very smart. This is it's much more than a rom-com, and that's why rom-coms come and go and they can be sweet and entertaining and fun. This is that plus something else. Plus something else that's really strong and interesting and surprising and maybe even shocking for some people. But I when I was done, I said, "Damn, I really, really like this movie. Like, really, really like it." So
I kind of went into it going, "Okay, here comes the rom-com." I started watching it, going, "This is really smart. I'm really liking this. Like,
And
I'm getting it. I'm digging it." And then the more it kept going, it was very lean. It was took place in just a few locations,
mostly apartment and the theater.
She's confined, he's confined. So everything was in her house, in the theater. That was all she could think about. That's all she was. So they didn't really have room. And so it's almost like the hospital derailed her. And then when she was brought back in, she was completely vulnerable. And that's when the monster came out because she just couldn't hold it in anymore. I mean, the monster had to come out.
Right.
That's a lesson to all of you out there. The monster will come out.
Yeah, I mean,
You try to keep it in that closet, but it gonna come out.
it will come out, and it came out in this one in a very, very satisfying way. It's a movie that's coming out October 25th, and if you're looking for, a fun date movie, I think this one's fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome.
No, I think it's a really, really good film, and enjoyed everything about it. I think it's kind of a star-making turn for her. I thought, I've seen her before, and like I said, Abigail in the Scream films, but this was like, she really pulled it off. As did he, under that makeup, Thomas Dewey did a really great job. So
It was really fun.
so check it
was
out.
really
Your
good.
Monster
Yeah.
coming out October 25th.
Perfect
to
time.
theaters, and really a surprising one of those good ones. So we're
Bring some
excited.
good scares, bring some good laughs, bring some good cathartic rage. Do
Yes.
it. All right.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.